What's going on, my Cartelians? Cartel from Hell with another review. This time it's going to be of the Sideshow Collectibles War Machine maquette. This is the exclusive edition of this statue. To tell you the truth, there's actually not a regular. It's just an exclusive release and that's it, meaning you can only pick this one up from Sideshow. And before we really get into the review, I just want to let you guys know that this piece is still available on Sideshow's website. So go ahead and pick yours up right now if you can. I'm not affiliated with Sideshow in any way. I just want to let you guys know that it's still available. You can go ahead and press pre-order on it. It's not saying shipping soon or anything like that. I was just checking the website. And, it's still in pre-order status. It's probably pretty much just because, they come in batches. So they have to put it back in pre-order status because they don't have any in stock ready to ship. That doesn't mean that they won't have some, within a month or within a week or within a couple months. Who knows? Just whenever they get the next batch in, if you're on pre-order status, just go ahead and check their website and see if they're available. If they are, you can give them a call and try to get it shipped out a little sooner if you guys really want this piece in your collection. So, enough of that. Let's just go ahead and get into the review. Now, I was a little iffy about picking up this statue. I'm not going to lie, you guys. I'm a little bit salty from the previous Sideshow Collectibles Mark 42 maquette. Now, there are a lot of aspects from this older maquette. It's actually really not that much older. It's maybe released about a year ago. But there is some really nice aspects about this piece, like the pose, the sculpt of the suit is nice overall. There is a little bit of parts of the sculpt that it's a little lackluster. It should have had more definition to it. It's definitely a very nice statue though. I really love the light ups. I actually have never done a review on that statue just because of the paint problems, and that's what really got me on the fence about this statue, because I wasn't sure if this War Machine statue was going to have the same paint problems that the Mark 42 had. And I just want to tell you guys right now, I'm very happy that's not the case. The paint on this statue of mine, I don't know if everybody else's came out as nice. I really hope they did, you guys, because it's kind of hard to get two Iron Mans in a row with shitty paint jobs. And, the Mark 42, the paint's just really sloppy, you guys. It's pretty bad. I still love the statue. I still want to keep it. I would say out of all my Sideshow statues, the Mark 42 is number 3. I only have 3 Sideshow Iron Man statues, just the Hulkbuster maquette, the War Machine, and the Mark 42. So definitely right now the 42 is on the bottom of the list. The maquette, the Hulkbuster maquette's on the top, and this bad boy's right in the middle. But it's just a really impressive piece. You guys have done a really good job with it. Just detail all over the place. I really love the light up feature. And what's kind of weird though? I was kind of tripping out on it. Why did we get a nameplate for this statue, but not a nameplate for this statue? Is it because we got an Ultron? I don't know. Actually, now that I think of it, this piece was a little bit more expensive than the 42. I think it was like $50 more. So you're paying for that Ultron. You're paying a little extra for the Ultron, but you're still not getting the nameplate. And I know a lot of people don't really care about the nameplates, but I love them, you guys. I wish every single one of my statues had a nameplate. I like how the nameplate isn't attached to the statue and you can take it off so that the people that don't like the nameplates don't have to display them. But I think it's just a nice little touch, and it just elevates the display just a little bit. If they're really big and your eye just gravitates towards the nameplate, I'm sure that it would take away from the statue. But when they're simple and elegant like that, I think it's a really nice little addition to the statue. And one thing that I've noticed a lot of people talking about is that his shoulder cannon is on the wrong side. But if you look at the Iron Man suit, there's actually a swivel on his back and his shoulders, so that the cannon can actually swivel from side to side on either side of his suit. So another thing about the shoulder cannon is that it's actually attached with a peg, you guys. And if you guys have watched any of my reviews before, you guys pretty much know that I'm really not a fan of peg-only attachments. You know, I feel like it cheapens the statue a little bit. I would rather have a magnet instead of a peg for the attachment. But in this instance, I'm actually going to give Sideshow a pass on it, just because the peg is going horizontal instead of vertical. If the peg was vertical, you know, it just makes it a lot easier for the attachment to slide out and just slip off and break, you know, due to gravity. But since the peg is horizontal, it's really not going to be a problem. And to tell you the truth, it's probably going to be a little bit stronger than a magnet in this application, just because if you were to ever accidentally knock on the shoulder cannon, it could separate the grip from the magnet and just fall off, and then you're going to have a broken shoulder cannon. But, you know, that being said, I wouldn't mind if it was a magnet, and in this certain application, I definitely don't mind that it's a peg. I definitely think that they should stay away from the pegs, though, if they're going to be vertical. Alright, so let's get into the paint on the statue, you guys. I think that Sideshow has done an extremely good job with the paint on this piece. You know, the lines are pretty crisp. There is a couple areas where, you know, they kind of go outside of the line. But for the amount of line work that has to be done on the statue, not every single line is going to be perfect. I really do wish that it was, but it's not. You pretty much have to think to yourself, you know, is the amount of mess ups acceptable? And there are few mess ups, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys some 4K close-ups of those mess ups, just so you guys know exactly what to expect when you're getting this piece. Doesn't mean your piece is going to have the same amount of mess ups, because they're all handmade, they're all hand painted. So, you know, it's definitely not going to be the same exact paint job for every single piece. But the little mess ups that I do have, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys. But for the most part, I think they've done a really good job with it. The colorway of the suit in general is really nice. I'm just really digging it. You know, it reminds me of my car. I have a black and silver car. Silver on the outside, black on the inside. It's an old school Monte Carlo. It's an 85 SS. But, you know, it looks really nice. The colorway is really nice. And one thing about the paint, you guys, all of the paint, it seems like it's very thick. It's been applied really well, and it actually has a lot of texture on the paint. It's like they used just a different kind of paint than I've ever seen. Now, this paint really reminds me of, I don't know if you guys know what like a spray-on bed liner in the back of the bed of a truck is like, but it has like a lot of texture. It's very durable, and just a really thick like spray-on coating, and that's pretty much what the black paint in this piece reminds me of. You know, it has a lot of that texture, and it just, when you look at it, it looks like it's been applied more than once. You know, it's like they put multiple layers of it on there, and it just gives it a higher quality look to it. You know, I'm not seeing any brush strokes or anything like that on the black. I'm not seeing any brush strokes on the silver either, you guys. And that really surprised me, because on the Mark 42, man, there's brush strokes all over that piece. It just looks like it was like globbed on there. So the paint in general is very nice. I also really like how they painted the defeated Ultron on the base. Done a really good job with it. It's really shiny. This makes it look more alive. They've also done a really good paint job on the base as well. They've given it a lot of weatherization, like specks of ash. You know, and the base to me, the sculpt on it is a lot nicer than the base on the Mark 42. They've put a lot more detail into the base in general. And, you know, the sculpt on it almost reminds me of Obsidian. You know how Obsidian has that melted glass-like effect to it? It has a lot of that going on in the back half of the base. Almost like it's been chipped away and melted at. Really nice. I'm really loving the look of it. I mean, Obsidian in general, just really cool looking rock, but definitely very nice. Now, the bottom of the base, I know not too many people care about the bottoms of the base when they're like this, and to tell you the truth, I'm one of them. It kind of takes you out of the element a little bit, and you know, they're really just this type of black bottom base is really just a dust magnet, if anything. So I don't think they needed to go with that. I mean, it kind of ties them in together a little bit, but I don't think it's really necessary. And I wish that they would just go away from the generic bottom base to begin with. You know, I'm not really impressed by it. You know, it doesn't really do anything for me, so if it's not doing anything for me on the statue, it's not really necessary. Alright, so another thing that I'm really happy about with this piece is the light up feature. I think the light up feature actually came out really well. It looks really nice at nighttime, you guys. I don't use my light ups a lot of us really don't, but for the people that are going to use them, you know, it's a very bright light, and it's you know, it's very impressive. I really love how they've included all the light ups. You know, they have the light up in the eyes, the chest, and his hands, his repulsors. But one thing that they did miss out on, you guys, they forgot to put the light up on the Ultron. You know, they didn't have to. It's not, you know, 100% necessary, but I think it would have really elevated the piece, especially because this piece already has light up features. So why not have, you know, Ultron light up as well, and you know, have him you know, flickering like he's dying, and especially because his pose still shows that he has a little bit of life left in him. You know, he has his arm extended, and it's almost like he's saying, you know, why? You know what I mean? Just in general. So it's like, why not show that his light's flickering out? You know, he's barely hanging on for life, and just give it that extra touch of detail. It's all about the extra touch, you guys. Go that extra mile. You know what I mean? Impress your customers. You know, we're really big fans of your artwork, and I know that somebody thought of that, especially because there's that Cinemaquette piece, the Hulk Cinemaquette, and it has that Ultron on the bottom of the base with his light flickering out. And you know, that's something obviously that's already been done, but something that should have been learned from. You know what I mean? So why not? It's already wired. It's, you know, it already has a light up feature, so just throw that in there. Now, one thing I do have to credit Sideshow for doing with this light up feature, and I'm really happy they went this route, is that it's not only battery operated, but it's also wire powered. So you have two different options on the different power source that you could use. You know, if your statue's too far away from the wall, you can use batteries. If you're really against putting batteries in your piece, well, you can plug it in. Alright, so next we're going to talk about the decals on this statue. Now, everything that's on this piece that has anything to do with lettering or any type of warning labels or anything like that that's on the suit is all decals, you guys. None of them have been hand painted on there. None of them are sculpted into the suit. It's all just a decal that's laying on top of the piece. And if you guys don't know what a decal is, it's just basically a type of a sticker, just a transfer. And you know, I'm really not a fan of decals, you guys, especially if they're like on like eyebrows, you know, stuff like that. But to tell you the truth, if I was to really expect a factory to paint on lettering and, you know, warning labels with very tiny print on them, you're not going to get anything that really looks that good. So in this certain circumstance, it's definitely okay for them to have done it like that. And hopefully all your decals are on there straight, they're not bubbling or anything like that. I actually have a slight bubble on one of my decals. I'm not too happy about it, but it happens. You know, it happens, you guys. It's really not that big of a deal, and you really can't notice it until you know, really stare at it. And of course you're going to do that when you pay $500 for the statue, right? But there's decals all over the place, you guys. You know, they've packed in a lot of decals on this piece. There's a lot of warning emblems on the front of his shoulder cannon right next to the barrel. There's also a danger sign on the front of the shoulder cannon. And to tell you the truth, mine's actually not really that straight. So not too happy about that. I haven't really noticed that one that much, but looking at it right now, it's not perfectly straight. But then again, you guys, they are all put on there by hand, so not everything's going to be perfect. You know, he has the 002 on the side of his shoulder, and then on the inner bicep of his arm, the Mark II War Machine. Very nice, you guys. Really loving the extra details that have been placed on this piece. So yeah, for that, decals, they came out really good. Some of them aren't too straight or anything like that, but I think it adds a nice little touch of detail and looks nice. So in a sea of Iron Mans, you know, I would definitely say that this is one of the better ones. You know, there are Iron Mans that are a little nicer than this one. You know, there's a lot of Iron Mans, you guys, especially when it comes to statues and hot toys and just everything in general. But at the end of the day, you know, if I'm really thinking to myself, would I recommend this statue? You know, if I had to go out and buy this statue again, would I buy it again? And I would definitely have to say yes, you guys. I would. I can definitely recommend this piece. You know, Cartel from Hell, seal of approval all day, every day on this piece. I'm really happy with it. You know, I'm extremely happy with the light ups, the pose, the paint, you know, the shoulder cannon, the base, the Ultron. It's a complete package when it comes to an Iron Man piece. I'm really happy with it, and I can definitely recommend it. So alright, you guys, so that's pretty much going to be it for this review. I just want to say that I really appreciate all you guys out here that are watching all these videos and commenting, subscribing, liking, all that shit. You know, it's nothing but love, baby. You know what I mean? Let's keep this shit going. Alright, you guys, catch me if you can on the next one. Cartel out. Thanks for watching.